Hit Season 2.
Here, the stats are kind of in Trap's favor, actually. He is 3-2 against Terran. Pretty good in the matchup. I actually, I didn't make that observation that you did, that he's really, really good at stopping drops. Definitely going to be a key part of this game.
This was actually the vote I made because I had faith, and I was like, I'm going to do this. I know no one's going to believe me. This is going to be the one. This is going to be why I win the round 3 predictions. And
it's a bold statement there.
And I am so confident.
Because if you don't win this one, then me and GTR are tied at first.
That's right. And there's no way for me to win if I lose this. Okay, me and Monday Caster.
There's a way to win. You voted for Classic. I voted for Bial.
Okay.
Later on today.
But don't worry.
There's a chance.
It doesn't matter because Trap is going to win this game, Valdez.
Okay, let's see. I am very, very convinced that Reality is going to take this one. He always plays on Dust Towers. We'll see how he can do here against Trap in game number 2. In the top right, the Terran player from Samsung, it is Reality.
And down here at the bottom left, in green, his opponent, Trap, winner of game 2.
Reality, what? I didn't even realize I was about to go into another statement. I'm like, what?
No, I'm just playing with this a little bit. This match, by the way, for those just tuning in, only matters for whether Generator is going to take first or second. Yeah. It's very likely they will take first, so it's not like the most intense match of all time, and Samsung is already out.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to think about that because they have no chance at round 3 and they have no chance at the grand finals, the grand postseason either. So this is their last match.
Yep,
the 2016 Pro League. I guess MVP also had their last match yesterday. I don't think they have any way to get in because they didn't qualify for the playoffs this time. I don't think they have enough points for the grand postseason.
Yeah, they
either.
definitely don't.
So those two teams are going to be done for good after this for this season.
Yeah, I'm very optimistic that we will have a Pro League next year, myself personally.
Yeah,
but
me too.
If for some crazy circumstance we do not, this could be the last time you see Samsung jerseys in Pro League. I mean, it's probably not going to be the case, but
that would be so sad, man. I don't think that's going to be the case.
I don't think so either. I mean, I can't confirm to you guys if Pro League or not or anything like that. But I myself personally would bet big money that there will be a Pro League next year. So get hyped for that.
For sure.
And then also hate on me if it doesn't happen. It's all my fault.
Yeah.
Wolf told us. Wolf's like, I think the sun will rise tomorrow. It doesn't rise. I'm like, I guess it was all me, guys. So let's see what Reality has planned, because this map, the 4th base is so easy for the Protoss to take. So incredibly easy, and oftentimes difficult for the Terran to hold. Especially once Colossi come into the picture, because you can defend your high ground on your 4th base with Colossi and the vision that the Colossi give. You can stalk or harass. If you survive to get the 4th base, it's very difficult for the Terran to win the game. Only a few times has that ever happened, and most of the time it was because of Maru, so that's like another thing entirely.
Doesn't count. That's P versus M, man. That's Protoss versus Maru, not against Terran. I mean, there are certain ways that the Terran can try to pull the Protoss apart once that 4th base comes up, because generally you don't want to take the one that's closer because it's got that high ground, and Terran drops are just so annoying. You park some Marauders up there. It denies, like, I think half the patches. But the other one is pretty far away. It's like to the north of the 3rd base. And you could like try to drop the main and then, you know, run into the 4th base, stim in, try to kill some probes, maybe even get the Nexus. You know, we've seen Maru do some of that as well. Generally, the 3 bases are known as just like super easy for the Protoss to get. And for a while, we were saying that like Protoss, this is like a Protoss map, super favored for Protoss against Terran. SOS was making it look easy every time he came out. He was trying new strats. They were working super easily. But I don't know. I feel like it's pretty even nowadays, to be honest.
Yeah. Zest also kind of perfected the Blink Stalker pressure on this map. showing that it's easy to, not only is it easy to take a third as a Protoss, but also easy to deny the third of the Terran, because there's so many different things the Terran has to prepare for. This Mothership Core, he recalled it so quickly, because he knows if he loses that, like, that's going to make his defense so much more difficult. Reality is actually not, at least for the time being, committing to heavy pressure. He's just going to put some light pressure on. But look at what he's building for the follow-up. Double tech labs. So we'll have stem and combat shields and 2 additional barracks. Looks like he may not be planning on taking a third base at all in this game.
If he does, it's definitely going to be a lot later, because he's going to power up first, make sure he has a large enough army to hold off any kind of pressure that the Protoss can put on, and then go for that third base if he decides it. He could also try to hit a timing. You see the engineering bay coming up as well.
This is a really good build for Reality, because he has also the tools to deal with Blink Stalker pressure, which is going to be the next phase for Trap. Trap is going to power up some gateways here in just a moment. I'm telling you, man, well, what did I say about his defense? Never going to take damage ever. You think you can drop a Widow Mine in his base and it'll even go off? No!
That was not the best drop in the world. It's almost like you couldn't see the edge. I couldn't really see the edge of the radius of the overcharge, because it was actually blocked by the Mothership Core. But he was trying to get like a Mothership Core snipe, Widow Mine. It was not going to work. I don't even think a Widow Mine one-shots a Mothership Core. It was kind of a weird place to put that, you know?
Yeah, it was, I think it took like a little bit of damage from the Marine, but still I don't think it would have one-shot because I had full shields. All right, we're going to start to see the heavy pressure now, though. Stim on the way, longer upgrade than combat shields because of shells first. This is scouted by the Observer, so that's like an unfortunate thing here for Reality. Trap really needs to gear up, though, to get enough units out to defend this attack. A Forge here, not sold on it, personally, because that is, you know, that's like looking late game, but you have to survive first against this next attack that's coming. Reality is committing so heavily to this that he needs to find damage. And this Viking is already in position. This Warp Prism can be used later on to slow down the push, and I think this Blink Stalker pressure was what he was originally planning on doing to stop the third, but he's like, you know, this build kind of counters mine in a way, because he can't attack with a Blink anymore because there's too many units. And now he needs to focus on defending, and those 2 gates he's got coming up are pretty late. I don't know if he's, I mean, let's see what happens here. I'm not going to call this before it's over, but this is like a really strong amount of pressure that's coming this way.
Generally, it's very easy to hold the third base for the Protoss. You have this ramp here. Also, there's like a distance in between the ramp and the Nexus. You can place a lot of pylons and, you know, do some force field shenanigans. The map is very big, so you can see the push coming a mile away, and it also gives you more time to defend. So all these things just make it really easy for the Protoss to defend, and looks like Reality is just turning around, and it was basically just like, you know, he's going to try to drop here and there for sure. He's already out on the map, but I feel like this build was mainly just to survive and make sure he takes that third base, because you're never really going to have a good push up on the third base against the Protoss here.
Look at the positioning of Trap's units on the main map. He has, I believe, a Void Ray or a Prism. Something is flying to the north of the third base to spot drops coming that way. He has an Observer on the right side. He had a Probe on the high ground at his potential 4th or 5th base. He's like so ready for drop pressure. And this is what I was talking about. When I say he's like the best player defending everything, I really mean mid-game drop-based pressure. He does not die to any of that. Reality likes this style of play. I think he actually beat MC on this map with just aggressive double tech lab play. It's something he likes and is comfortable with. All right, let's see. The drops are coming in.
Flies right through the Observer's range. And this gets scouted by the Warp Prism. That is a ton of units, though, in all those medevacs. Look at this. There's a cannon. There's already Stalkers in position. He does drop the third base. This is a nice place.
Yeah, this is not where Trap's units are. He expected that because of the scout, this drop wasn't going to be committed to. Pylon Sniper makes this defense a lot harder, but he still has enough units here set up to defend. He had the Stalkers in the main base, so that drop didn't even go off. And now he's going double Robo Colossi here with Thermal Lance. He has the gas to do this. He knows the drop phase is basically over, and really didn't commit to the attack early enough. He had Stim, you know, he didn't commit by ground is what I should say. He could have tried to attack by ground, snipe some gateways, maybe snipe the Robo while he's dropping the main. Problem is that Trap had those Stalkers there. He has a large army. He had fast Stim and fast combat shields, but now he's getting behind in tech because he couldn't do anything with those. And 2 Colossi are up. +2 attack on the way for those Colossi, by the way. And with the attack speed upgrade, that's way more powerful than it was before. The patch changes.
Yeah, he actually changed that. He was like, I think he must have been like 30 seconds through his +1 armor, and he's like, no, I need the attack. And you're exactly right. I mean, everything attacks really fast for the Protoss, even the Adepts when you upgrade them. The Colossi got that attack speed upgrade. And he's making a second forge anyway, so he can get that armor eventually. He's prioritizing that attack for a good reason.
The Colossi, they need to be in position for this attack. There's a lot of Marauders in this mix, as well as the Liberators. He doesn't have a lot of Stalkers. That's all the Stalkers he's got. It's enough. He has Blink, but he can't lose them carelessly to Marauders, or then he won't have enough anti-air to deal with the Liberators, and he'll lose his 4th base. Reality is being so... he's being not indecisive, but he's being
patient.
So slow. Yeah, he's being too patient. And he's actually going to take the fight to Reality. Blink forward here means he can't blink on the Liberators anymore.
I don't think he should fight this, especially with the Liberators out there. You do not want to fight into those zones.
I think he just wants to make sure that Reality can't siege up his 4th, because in a second he's going to have 2 Colossi more, so he's going to have 4 Colossi with range. And if before that happened, his 4th was sieged up, would have been bad. This War Present Harass is going to give him 7 kills here, it looks like.
There's a lot of Adepts in here, but this wall that's up at the back door will save a lot of SCVs, in fact. And it does force Reality back. Reality is taking his own 4th base as well. And this is going to get into a bit of a longer game, and I'm curious to see how Reality is going to respond to the Colossi. It looks like double Reactor Liberator with the Fusion Core coming up. Probably going to go for the range and just mass Liberators and just try to control and outrange the Colossi.
This is smart. This is something we haven't seen in a while on this map. It fell out of favor for a while. Not really sure why, because I think it was always very powerful. But you thought there was an observer there, there wasn't. It's going to be a strong move. That's one of the ways you can control the map against someone who, like, what did I say about Trap? I feel like everything I've said in a sense has come true. I think his late game decision making gets sometimes be wrong, and he gets sometimes overcommit to fights he should take. And if you have Liberator range, that might be one way you could force him to fight something he shouldn't be fighting. This drop gets shut down pretty hard. He secures the 4th base. This was the hard part, saving your 3rd base and getting the 4th base up, getting that tech. He has a tech advantage. Reality still isn't making Vikings, and he's going for the Liberator range.
Yeah. Just going to use Liberators instead.
Yeah, and that's like an alternative choice that's very smart as well. It's not like one is better than the other. It's almost stylistic, I feel, personally, in the meta.
He just needs to make more. I mean, he's up at 57. Okay, he is going to commit to Liberators here. He wasn't making them for a while. He only has 6, and I think you need a lot more against 7 Colossi.
Oh man, this is a great amount of drop pressure though, and Trap is all in one place. And that second warp in of cannons is a bit too slow here. The Void Ray though, committing, and Trap, one of the best players defending drops. Now this army is in here, and it probably needs to leave. He kills the Cybernetics core and the cannons, but if he commits to fighting here, it's going to be a mistake. There's so many Colossi, but the Stalkers, many of them are dead. He needs to pull back, he's stopped the drop, but he doesn't want to throw away free units to Liberators.
Yeah.
He needs those Tempests out that he's working on making right now.
Yeah, he definitely does. Definitely a better trade there for Reality, I have to say, just because at the end he threw away so many Adepts in those Liberator zones. And this is kind of what I get worried about, when I think about Trap. But, it's just sometimes in these fights, he just really has trouble with his control or his decision making. It's like, oh, do I commit here? Do I go in? He doesn't have the best eye for that kind of thing, and you see a bit of that there.
His late game decision making is not as good as other Protosses. His mid game play is, I think, top notch, absolutely incredibly good. His drop defense as well.
Early game is great.
Yeah, but his late game sometimes he flubs a little bit. And this could be one of those moments if he can still fight under Liberator zones, but Reality's going to concede the point, because one of the reasons why it looked for a second why Trap was so down in supplies because he had a massive bank while he was about to start his Tempest, and he was like, is he going to commit to a fight? Do I really want to make Tempest right now? Maybe I need to make a round of Stalkers. So he kind of slowly did both. And so now he has some Stalkers, enough to deal with the Liberators as well as the Tempests. And the Tempests are going to be the answer to the Liberators now that they have their advanced ballistics. Speaking of which here, this one was a bit optimistic, trying to look for damage. Not going to happen. Gets 8 kills in total, but I think that was from fights previously.
Yeah. And we do see committing to some Vikings now as Reality. He made 6, but he does switch back into Liberators. Going to be very important against the Tempests. You can kind of rely on the Liberators against the Colossi if you've got enough of them with range, but they're not going to be doing too well against that very high range of the Tempest. So.
Oh, this Void Ray is out of position. This drop is going to come into the main base again. This kind of ends up being the weak point here in Trap's defense. It's 3 cannons here, but here's Forges are exposed.
And he scouts the fleet beacon. He needs to focus down those Forges, though. There he goes.
He will stop these upgrades. Level 2 denied here, and the shields denied as well. The Dark Shrine going to be killed. That's not the end of the world. It's crazy that he's even going to commit to that overcharge there. The scan goes down to kill the DTs with the planetary. And oh, look at this. Trap is like moving up to the north for some reason. He's way slow to respond to this attack. And with advanced ballistics, this is a really big problem. He's even got Vikings to help protect this.
That's not enough Stalkers. He needs the Tempest to get over here. But as you were saying, the Vikings are going to be perfect against those. And he's only got 4. This drop in the main finally gets cleaned up.
It's not the end of the world that he loses mining here temporarily, but he needs to crush this army or force it away very soon. Void Ray is going to get pushed back as well. He's going to clean up the last of these Liberators. And this actually could be a moment where Trap decides to fight because he's killed some of these Liberators. And he's going to try to go in for this angle. He lost the upgrades, but 3-3 still isn't yet done for Trap, or excuse me, for Reality. Another Liberator goes down. This is basically just pure bio with only a few Vikings versus so many Colossi. Charge is almost done as well. He doesn't have a War Prism with this, at least not yet. But he's got 2 on the way, and this could do a lot of damage.
It's going to be a super hard fight for Reality. He has to pull the SCVs, and look at all those Colossi. There are a bunch of Vikings in the sky shooting them down.
But
look at all those Stalkers.
Coming in. The Stalkers come up as well. He's got Charge, and Trap takes game number 2.
Get out of here, Wolf. I don't want to cast you with you anymore.
There you go, 100 supply up. He defeats Reality on Dust Towers, and there you go. Dinner is going to bring it back.
Yeah, nicely done. You know, he holds on. There were some points in that game that definitely looked a bit weak. That he was looking, you know, there were some chinks in the armor, some really nice drops from Reality, but it just was not enough. The GG scans come down, and there's the GG. Everyone bow down to your Lord and Master, Wolf.
Stop! the lack of faith is disturbing. This team won round 2. They're about to get first place in round 3, very likely. Okay, very likely. They just tied it up, but the next 2 players for dinner I feel are really favored. This was actually the toughest match to them tonight. And even though I was like really confident in Trap, it was, I think, still definitely the toughest match. Deer beating Morrow was an upset, and that was a really good game by Deer. But for the most part, especially because Samsung has nothing to gain, it just feels like a Jinner-sided match. But I just want to remind everybody about how good his drop defense was when there were drops.
Yeah, I mean, that was, for me, that was like a vote against Trap, to be honest. I'm like, he is just not doing good recently, not doing well. But one of his best matchups is PvT. And one of, I think, Reality's worst matchup is actually the TVP, the more I see it. He's fantastic TVC. TVT is awesome as well. But he does fall down here once again in TVP. Guys, we're going to take a short break before we go on to game number 3.